Much of the criticism about drone strikes, both here at home and abroad, understandably centers on reports of civilian casualties. There's a wide gap between U.S. assessments of such casualties and non-governmental reports.
That was President Obama in his national security speech in May, defending his administration's controversial targeted killing program. Now, many of those non-governmental organizations that the president was referring to has put the civilian casualty as a result of these drones into the hundreds, if not thousands. The White House is reluctant to admit any of those casualties, and they insist that they use the highest standards possible when pursuing targets. But newly revealed classified documents suggest that the White House itself might not even know who it's targeting with these robots. NBC News obtained these documents revealing the details of more than 100 drone strikes in Pakistan carried out by the CIA over a 14-month period beginning in September of 2010. Of those strikes, roughly a quarter of those killed were classified as other militants, meaning the CIA couldn't determine if they were al-Qaeda or any other associated force. Not only that, the documents reveal that the death tolls from each strike were uncertain. In some cases, only estimates were given. Yet the administration was certain that civilians weren't included in the deaths. Of the 600 drone strike deaths outlined in these documents, only one was listed as a civilian. Now, this report comes just as members of Congress are growing more and more skeptical of these killer robots. Congressman Keith Ellison.
This drone program needs our attention because 52 countries in this world have drone technology. The genie's out of the bottle. How long will it be before we're, reaping the whirlwind because of some of the things that have been done in our name?
On Tuesday, House Republicans included in their version of the National Defense Authorization Act for 2014 a proposal by Congressman Mac Thornberry to give Congress more oversight of the White House's targeted killing program.
This provision sets up a framework where the administration's got to tell us before, right after, and then quarterly about these sensitive operations.
But the White House already does brief Congress on these strikes, presumably including those strikes revealed in this new NBC News report. Also, Congressman Thornberry's proposal only applies to strikes carried out by our armed forces, not our CIA, which was the agency responsible for these particular strikes. And while there were reports the president might use his national security speech to announce a realignment in the drone program, moving all kill operations out of the CIA and into the Pentagon where there's more oversight, such an announcement has not been officially made. Now, over the next few weeks, as the National Defense Authorization Act is debated in Congress, members of both the House and the Senate will have opportunities to add more congressional oversight to the White House's drone program, as well as the authorization for use of military force that underpins the drone program. This was an issue I recently talked about with Congressman Keith Ellison. Congress is going to be taking up the new Defense Authorization Act.
Right.
Is that the place to fight this battle when it comes to codifying drones and trying to rework the AUMF?
That is a good vehicle to raise these issues, and we plan on, developing some vehicles to really push back on this endless war program.
Meanwhile, if the White House wants some credibility on this issue, then it needs to get its numbers straight. Simply, if the CIA doesn't know who it's targeting with these drones, as these classified memos suggest, then how can it be so sure that civilians aren't among the casualties? And furthermore, how can it be so sure that these strikes are against ongoing and continuing threats? These are questions that need answers. And it's going to be up to the people working in the building behind me to demand those answers. In Washington, Sam Sacks, RT.